Probably also put it back in the show. Hey, episode 200.
Hey.
We're live.
We are live. 200.
I know. Hard to believe. 3 years ago. Was it 3 years ago? 4 years ago. 4 years ago. 2017. Yeah. So not
Isn't
bad.
that crazy?
Yeah. So it's been pretty good. We've done a show almost every week and all that. But I don't know. Kevin just texted something on our group thing. I don't know what it means. So cool. Hey man, we got a great show today. We're talking about a little Godzilla King Kong.
Wrong thread for Kevin.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And
don't worry, Kevin. We'll just read it to everybody on air.
Yeah. Yeah.
The oops, wrong thread.
Yeah.
Nothing more horrifying than that moment you realize you sent to the wrong people.
Yeah. You know, it happens in that. So, but yeah, we're working on our new Bardstone. We got a premiere of our new Kickstarter starting tonight at 7. We'll be talking about that.
Yes. How exciting. I just wrapped up colors. So we're so close. We're probably like 97% done.
Yeah, I haven't done any lettering since we last talked.
Yeah, that's okay.
I've been busy, but I'll be able to download the rest of the pages, get going. But the book will be completely lettered before the Kickstarter is over, of course.
Exactly.
And actually, by the time the day the Kickstarter is done and funding secured, it'll be sent off for print right away because we've had 4 successful Kickstarters. This will make number 5. We're gonna be excited about that. It's gonna be awesome.
That's right.
So
good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So how was your week?
Busy. I took Easter Sunday off and so I could cook, and I did a brisket, a prime rib, and then a friend of mine, she asked if I could smoke a prime rib for her family, and so I did that as well. Did some mac and cheese, of course. Yep, there's Kevin. Be glad it wasn't the pick I said right before. Yeah. Yeah.
Good times. So you got a brisket going, you said?
Yep. And it was good. The whole thing. I did mac and cheese as well. We had sides, and we had the usual.
For those who don't know, Brett's mac and cheese is legendary. He makes it and brings it to people all the time.
Yes.
It's smoked mac and cheese. It's very good.
Yep, and I've got the new smoker I got last year. It's in the year, and so I've been using it a little bit more here and there, and so it's doing a great job. It's my brother said it was the best prime rib I've ever done. The brisket came out excellent. Very happy with everything. And then my friend Jackie and her family had her prime rib that I did for them. She said that they really enjoyed that. So. I was really glad that. And then, so I kind of had the day off from work, but I'd worked last Thursday all day, Friday all day, Saturday all day. Then I worked all day Monday, and then I worked yesterday. And then after the chiropractor, which I'll talk about them in a minute, went to see Godzilla versus King Kong. And so I just am exhausted.
Yeah. So
it's been constant running and all that stuff last few days.
So today we'll talk a little King Kong versus Godzilla. We'll talk a little Winter Soldier and Falcon. We've got the Crimson Shadows 2 Kickstarter launching tonight. We'll talk a little bit about, and then we're on episode 200 too. That 200 also, I should say.
I'd hoped I'd have a little bit of time to do I was going to do one of my little videos I like to do for promo, but I was like, nope, there's not time to do a 200 video.
That's okay. I
was trying to finish up the Crimson Shadows one as it was, and that was
in honor of our 200th episode. Everyone should go and rewatch all 199 episodes before this. They are all available online.
Yeah, you'll see the old ones where we were
back at the Echo Network.
Back at the old Echo Network, and still a lot of respect and love for those guys. They allowed us to get our start doing this, and
Dominic's awesome over there, and
I know they got a lot of stuff good going on there too. So if you're looking if you're in the Michigan area, and you're looking for a good place to do a podcast because you don't have the equipment, they're the place to go.
Definitely. And while we're at it, check out Dominic Riggio's company, Mess Bucket Comics. They have great work that they're doing. A lot of wrestling tied in titles they've been doing lately, putting out like licensed stuff with Rowdy Piper Estate, the Kilted Avenger, and I think they announced another one they're about to do. that's tied into wrestling, I believe. I'd have to go back and
check. I've got the picture that Kevin didn't want us to see, so I'm going to share that with everybody right now. So hold on a minute.
Uh-oh. Is it of his brisket?
Yeah, no. It's his unsolicited dick pic. That's Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke. Yes, you got to be careful when sending pictures of Dick Van Dyke. People tend to not appreciate those unsolicited dick pics.
Exactly.
Yes, definitely. On that note,
yes,
we should probably take care of our sponsors and give them a shout out.
Yeah, I think we should definitely do that, and just get my page set up here, and let me close out the.
I can do Team Titans first if you want.
Yeah, I got it right here. Here we go, because it's the Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC, located in Belleville, Michigan, and Dexter, Michigan, where they do take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient, offering on-site digital x-rays, massage therapy, orthotics with foot levers, young living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. You can give them a call at 734-697-4244. They have a call button right there on the Facebook page, which is at Loringer Family Chiro, and you can get a list of the services they offer there and check out everything going on there. So definitely check out Loringer Family Chiropractic and support their business any way you can. If you're not in the area and you can't actually physically go there, give them a call and they can try to refer you to somebody in your area. And if you're definitely looking for like the essential oils, which I use to help ward off things like COVID-19, stuff like that, though it's not FDA certified or anything like that, I can tell you that I haven't gotten sick hardly at all in the last couple of years since I started using the Thieves from Young Living Essential Oils, which
and as a little backup to that, for those who don't know, Brett, he has his non-Odd Musings job was shipped. He has been in the mix, shopping full time in the Krauts this entire year. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, Comic-Cons, which are known to be petri dishes for all kinds of unknown bacteria. Brett has been interacting with tons of people, and you never see Brett get sick. So, I think
I do get sick, but
mildly
things like Thieves and my vitamin use and stuff like that, as well as regular chiropractic visits, I think has all helped us staying healthier than I've ever been in my whole life. Still working on a little bit of the weight part, and my other doctor would say, "Oh, you got to work on this or that. You're not as healthy as you think." And I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, I'm healthier than you think because I'm not in there, but just for my quarterly checkups."
Yes. Well, very good. Check out Loringer Family Chiropractic. They've been with us from the start.
Yep. They are a longtime sponsor, and they take great care of us.
That's right. All right. And then our other sponsor is Team Titans of Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. That's right. While we utilize the latest in tools and technologies to maximize your home buying and selling experiences, we never forget at its core, real estate is a people business, and we take it seriously. Leading up to this, I've been talking about how crazy the market has been for sellers, and it still is crazy. But also, as I said, Easter tends to be a turning point where a lot of people start seriously thinking about putting their house on the market. While it's still a killer market for sellers, I will say our phone activity has picked up a lot this week. We've been taking a lot of phone calls. So there's definitely a lot of people who are at least exploring the idea of selling their houses. Now, this is anecdotal. This is just based on what we're seeing. But we have noticed a large uptick in activity with people talking to us. So with that said, if you are looking to sell your house in the next couple weeks to a month or two, and the only thing holding you back is you want to do those final touches to make your house perfect, give us a call, because if we get this surge of houses on the market, that could add a lot of competition, which will take away the bidding wars. The other factor to take into account, we currently have a moratorium on foreclosures. So the expectation is once that moratorium is lifted, we are expecting more inventory to hit the market. And if that happens, that could also get rid of bidding wars. So if you're on the sell side, you're going to want to have your house on the market and sold before that happens. So give us a call. My number is 586-549-6096. Jill Webler is 586-277-2145. And, we'll tell you what work needs to be done and what doesn't, because those bidding wars can easily get you another 10 to 30,000 in asking price. So, you delay to do a $3,000 project, and then more houses come on the market and you miss out on that bidding war, you're making less money, not more. So
you and I talked about that before on some of the shows of Odd Musings. People can go back and check when we talked a little real estate, is that people are looking, I want to upgrade and I'll spend the 10 grand to upgrade my house because then I'll get 20 grand. And that's not always the case. And in fact, you were saying a lot of time just a couple of years ago that people put in a ton of money and they don't never recoup that money back.
Right. So you got to be very specific on what you do, because part of it too is, people have their own taste. So while you may want to fix this up to what you like, so often we'll see people do their renovations and then we take a buyer through a house that's been renovated, and the buyer's like, oh, it's a shame they did that color, or, oh, I wouldn't have picked those cabinets, I would have done something different. So sometimes allowing the buyer to do the work will be more desirable to the buyer.
Yeah.
It just depends on your choices, but give us a call. We'll take care of you.
Excellent. So I think we should do a little promo of the upcoming Kickstarter we'll be doing tonight before we get into all the spoilers for our episodes and stuff like that. So those that don't want to hang out for those, but check it out later after you've seen the movies and TV shows and that. But yeah, we're launching tonight, 7:00. We got a 28-day Kickstarter, Crimson Shadows 2, and here is the trailer.
Great job, Brett. I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Love the choice of music too. It's so intense. It's like, yes.
I've been really looking for music for stuff for these, for the one I did for Poe, and then this one it's all this royalty free. You can use music, and just a lot of fun to put those together, and get those out there. So
yeah, very good.
Yep, we got the links, of course, for that you can go right to the launch tonight, and then right now we're at $0, guys. So
$0.
Get ready at 7:00 tonight when we hit the launch. You could be the first one.
Yeah. So
and the first person that pledges, I guarantee a no prize.
There you go. Yeah. So the link I posted in the comments there will take you to the launch page and you click on the notify me at launch. You will get a notification via email that it has gone live. You want to do that so you don't miss out on the early bird specials and other things. This here is a preview of the page once it goes live. So this isn't up yet here, what I'm showing you, but this is a little sneak peek for our Odd Musings through here. So let's get to there. Minimum goal. We're shooting for $2,500 for our minimum goal. That goes towards our production costs, print runs of all the limited series and different covers and specials and rewards and all that fun stuff. And we got some awesome stretch goals as well. But what I wanted to point out is, I'll quickly go through to show a couple things. This tells you all of our creative team that was involved. And then here's our stretch goal. So $2,500, the project goes live. At $2,800, we just have to raise $300 extra. We're going to have a exclusive 2 by 3 and 3.5 inch trading card, a metal trading card. It'll be exclusive artwork that you can only get through this, so it won't be part of future ones. What's cool about this?
Those metal trading cards are cool because I offer them through when I was doing some fan art at the shows. I started offering them a couple years ago, and they're really cool looking.
Right.
And the nice thing about it, it's not very big, so it's not very obtrusive in that, but it's going to be something that'll last you a long time and not fade out or anything.
Right. So anybody who has a reward of $8 or more, if you're receiving a physical reward mailed to you, you will automatically get that exclusive trading card added to your reward package. We are offering a trading card set. It's a 40 card set. I'm probably going to add 10 more cards at some point. So if we get far enough in the stretch goals, I'm going to add a bonus 10 cards for everybody, but that'll be farther down. At $32.50, I'm going to add a bonus 2-page short story at the back of this book. We've got the Crimson Universe, as I'm calling it, where we have all these extra characters, side characters. I'm going to reveal a introduction to one of the characters that will be coming up in a future issue. It'll be a black and white 2-page short story at the end of the book. So right now it's 30 pages full color. So this will add 2 more. If we hit 4,000, I'm going to lengthen that short story to a 4-page short story at the back. It'll be in black and white also. If we hit 5,000, we're going to color those 4 pages. So this will become a 34-page full color issue, which is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
$6,000, I will create a bonus variant cover that anybody who has a pledge of $20 or more, you will get that issue for free in your reward package. So those are my current bonus goals, and we'll see where we end up. I think we can do it. Covers. We got 5 covers, as Brett's awesome trailer revealed. Here's the trading card set. As I said, this is for the Crimson Universe. We've got 5 main category of cards in here. We got scene cards. This is where I take panels from the issues 1 and 2. And we have them highlighted here for key moments in the story. We have location cards. Here you see Scotland Yard. We have other locations that are going to be depicted in these cards. Character cards have characters that are featured in issues 1 and 2. Cover cards. We have a lot of covers between issues 1 and 2. I think we have 9 covers now. So all of those covers will have their own card. And then preview cards. This one has all upcoming characters in future issues. There you see one of the Plague Doctors. I believe they appear in issue 3. It might be 4, but I think it's issue 3. Metal prints, add-ons, tons of add-ons. And then here's some samples of the interior pages. These are without the lettering. Brett's working on that now. But just wanted to give you a peek at what it looks like. This is from our epilogue where Frankenstein's revealed. So yeah, so it's pretty exciting.
I was very impressed with the coloring for this issue. Now Scott's doing all the final colors, but you can really see where Cheryl Lima, who's doing the flats, has really brought another element to the series.
I love her work. She really is a godsend. If you need color flats, I highly recommend her. Mm-hmm. She's very professional, very timely. She tells you what her time frame is, and she meets it, which is very nice. That's hard to do with artwork sometimes. So, but the last thing I want to spotlight before we move on is the early bird special. Now, this one's a little up there. It's $115, but you get everything. It's $230 worth of rewards for $115. So you get all 5 covers, you get all 5 metal prints, you get all 40 trading cards, And you also get a on Crimson Shadows #1, the sketch cover edition. You will get one of those with a grayscale marker and ink drawing by me. So that entire package is $230, and I'm doing it for $115. So that's going to be the special early bird. You got to do it within the first 48 hours, or no soup for you.
Awesome.
So.
This is gonna be fun. This is a great story. We're as Scott said, expanding on the Crimson universe. So we're gonna be seeing some other things come into play. Spin-offs. We've talked about this between the three of us, and nothing to reveal on it just yet until we're ready to announce them. But real excited about everything we've got going on within the Bardstone in the Crimson universe, and as well as Poe. I'll be heading down to see Kevin on Friday.
Yes,
I've been working extra days this week, so I can take the weekend off and go see Kevin, Brandy, and the kids. We're going to do a little signing of the stuff we need to sign for Poe 2, and I'll help him get some of that stuff together so we can ship that off to everybody and have that all ready for you.
I really wish I was going. I haven't made it public, but there was a death in our family. My stepmother passed away about a month ago. We're hosting the official funeral this weekend, so I will be at that. But hope you guys have a great time, and I'll miss you guys.
Yeah.
But me and Brett will be joining forces pretty soon. I got to go down to his bat cave to work on the final letters with him. We'll do a final review of everything, and once we get that done, then I'll get the artist proofs ordered, and hopefully I'll have those in time before the project ends, so everybody can see the actual physical copies of what the artist proofs look like, at least. So that'll be good. Yeah,
my plan is everything works right. By next week, I hope to have everything completely done.
Nice.
So we'll get. I'll be working on that. So about halfway through, I have the first 12 pages done. So I've got to get the rest of them downloaded and get going on that. And then I need to do my initial review before I tell Scott he can take a look at it.
There you go. Yep, that's fine.
And all that.
Good stuff. I'm excited.
And Kevin said this issue was so much fun to ink. Yes, it was.
Kevin's done a phenomenal job with his inks. Such a pleasure to have him on board doing that. So traditionally what I do is we've got the main issue, which is 28 pages. And then I like to do an epilogue, and the epilogue is typically 100% my artwork that I do. It's my little fun side story, almost like the Marvel post-credit scenes, a way to introduce and tease something coming in the next episode, issue, I should say, not episode. Unless Netflix buys us, then it'll be episodes.
Yeah. This would be a great series to do.
Although I just saw they have some kind of a Sherlock Holmes series now. Come on, I'm looking at it, go, wait a minute, this stuff matches. I don't like this.
There's actually a few things I've seen recently that not exactly Crimson Shadows ish.
No, not exactly.
There's elements. I mean, the thing with Sherlock Holmes, he's public domain now, so he is kind of fair game to anybody to interpret. Same thing with Dracula and quite a few other things that kind of take up some of the elements within our story, or the Scott story here for Crimson Shadows. But it's gonna be some stuff there. But I really think that if they saw ours, they're gonna look at that going, this is something better.
Right. Well, and what's nice is everybody had creativity and artwork. While they can be in same genres and similar things, they are uniquely different, which is nice. Nobody's ripping off each other. I think a driving force of this really is zombie fatigue. I think people are looking for that. Okay, we want something in that horror genre, but different than zombies. We've had enough zombies. And I think this, when I wrote this originally about 4 years ago, and it kind of got shelved and I forgot about it. And then about a year ago, I was thinking about what, I want to do something. And I found my old story. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I had done this much work on this. So I resurrected it and brought it to life. And then that Dracula series from BBC came out, and I'm like, yep, this is the right time for this. I think people are going back to that genre, that subgenre within it. So it's been fun.
Yeah, no, it's been definitely. I agree. The zombie fatigue is out there and real. I stopped watching Walking Dead and I have no idea what's going on anymore. Although I think I killed off Beta from a post I saw last week. But again, nobody's posting about it hardly at all.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
And I know they're ending the series next year, and they're going to do some spin-off stuff, but not excited about anything. I loved zombie stuff. I love zombie movies, especially the Romero stuff, and loved Walking Dead when it first launched, but it just got to be too much. And then next thing you know, everything's zombies, and everything from video games to all these comics to this. It turned out they were trying to just do too much zombie stuff, and it got to be too much on that. And I just said, you know, I'm kind of over it for now.
Right.
In that, but yeah, I think I'm seeing more stuff pop up. You know, Universal's going back to revisiting their Universal monsters again, looking to see what they can do from there. I heard there's talks to a new Wolfman movie, you know, things like that. I'm sure they're going to revisit the Mummy again. Unfortunately, the last one didn't take off the way they wanted it to.
I thought I recently read something about Brandon Fraser maybe coming back.
Yeah, I've been seeing speculation on that. I don't know how true that is. I like Brandon Fraser a lot, and I would love to see him come back into the franchise. I don't know if he would though, but I know that his Mummy movies, I enjoyed them way better than I did the Tom Cruise one. I liked that as a good setup. That's the actual. They based on the first movies, what they based the ride on at Universal Studios. So when you're walking through the queue, it's kind of supposed to be the set from that movie a little bit.
So from 2 years ago, there was a story how they asked him, and he said he'd be more than willing to come back. Okay. So that was 2 years ago. He's been in Doom Patrol, hasn't he, for DC?
Yeah, he kind of left for a while. He had he's had home life challenges where he got divorced, and so he wanted to take some time away. And plus, it's come out recently. He had some issues with a studio executive, male, and so he's talked about that and a few other things. So TV series would be cool.
Well, with the way, once again, we're kind of spoiled now with streaming services in that, with Falcon and Winter Soldier and even WandaVision and these other ones. You can get so much more character development and good story doing a series versus a movie. And I would love to see them flesh it out more in a TV series.
That'd actually be pretty cool if they did a TV series of The Mummy that was a direct sequel to the second movie. They could probably do it, but years down the road, they jumped over 10 years from the first movie to the second, and they got married. They had a kid, and it was okay. I enjoyed it just fine. I didn't care for I wish they'd done more of a sequel where it was just him and her, and then the brother without the kid. Right. I think the kid was thrown in more of we need a kid in this to attract families to come see the movie, and I don't think that would have been the case. But if they did one going on where he's older, even his son. I know Rachel Weisz has said she doesn't want to come back because she didn't come back for the third one.
Well, we can kill her off then.
I think they already did in the third movie.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, but it'd be kind of cool having him years later where he's kind of still dealing with that, and they can say, but of course they have to look at the time frame. That was set back in the 30s. They were doing kind of an Indiana Jones-esque type time. So if they did that would be interesting to take it up to the 40s or even 50s, but. So I don't know, be interesting. Or I'm sure they'll relaunch it brand new and something completely different. Of course, they always have Brendan for a grandson. Yeah, it's not in modern times. So, but yeah, I love the movie. The first Mummy I've watched, I can't tell you how many times. It's one of those ones when I'm wanting something, a little action, a little fun, I'll pop it in, or if I happen to see it on, I'll a lot of times stop and watch, even just for a few minutes. So it's kind of fun in that. So. But of course, right now I'm watching Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, definitely. That's I'm really enjoying that. They're doing such a good job on that, and it's good stuff. Let me put that up there. It was cool to see them working with Zemo.
Yep.
And how that turns out, Zemo's a good fighter. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it was that was unexpected in a lot of ways.
So what is it? Wait a minute. What's this? Reveals new superhero team that's not the Avengers. Who's this? Who's the new team?
And that's what there's rumors now they're going to do a spin-off series based on the team.
The Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Or it could be a movie.
Yeah. They're saying it could tie into Black Widow, even this Thunderbolts thing. Also, the city they went to is a place in the Marvel Cinematic or Marvel Comics that Chris Claremont created for the X-Men. So them going to that city, they had Hightown and Lowtown and stuff. Chris Claremont made a post about how excited he was to see his created city, in the Marvel universe now. So that was cool. Great fight sequences too. A lot of fun. We're definitely seeing the new Captain America not liking Bucky and Sam too much.
No, but I think that's kind of showing his true colors in some ways, and the fact that he's not going to be the Cap for long. I think that's kind of showing him eventually going to have to become U.S. agent and drop the mantle.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I'm also seeing they talked about Sokovia and how it doesn't exist anymore in this episode. Sokovia was in Age of Ultron. Is that Age of Ultron, the one where the city got? So Age of Ultron, that's that where the city got risen up into the air and then it crashed and it wiped out. Now, one of the things I'm reading is they believe this is setting up for Doctor Doom. In the rubble of Sokovia, Doctor Doom's going to gain power and create his country.
Well, that's what I was thinking while watching the episode. I was like, I wonder if they're going to go that direction with it. And that would be the, I mean, a lot of this series, just like WandaVision, is set up for future movies and series and that. And if you looked, on the side, on the one building gate, there was looked like one of the X-Men logos was an X. So, they haven't talked mutants yet. They haven't talked about them yet.
What I love about how Marvel does things is they are very patient. They don't feel like they have to force it. They just sprinkle it in. And then down the road, when they use it, it's been introduced. It's in our minds. It's in the fabric. It doesn't look like it just got thrown in. So, all of these things, they might not come to fruition in this series, but I think they are putting all these sprinkles in because we are going to get a Fantastic Four movie, which we probably will get Doctor Doom. So like they're laying the groundwork. So when Doctor Doom appears, it's not like, well, where did this come from? We already know the history. And we didn't even know we were learning the history at the time. That's what I like about their patience pays off.
Yes. And I like how they're treating all that. And it's definitely for those that, I know a lot of people are supposed to really love the series because like the action and stuff like that, but there's just like WandaVision, there's so much going on underneath everything that the groundwork that's being laid. And then I'm sure Loki's going to be the same way. And there's a new trailer out there you can check out.
Oh yeah. Loki, which looks phenomenal.
And that this is, I think they're taking the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which includes all the Disney Plus series and that, to whole new levels. As much as I enjoyed, and I think Scott the same way, we enjoyed the 22 movies we got initially. All this next stuff that they're building towards, I think, is going to be even more, and ability to add in the stuff that Marvel had sold off originally to bring them back into the fold, and including reintroducing Fantastic Four, X-Men. And all these other characters, just these little small side characters. We got, at the end of the episode for this third episode, they brought in
Sharon Carter.
Yeah. Aoa, the Wakanda.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yep. So we got her popping in. So Wakanda's making an appearance in this.
Was that Michonne in Walking Dead?
That was not Michonne.
Oh, okay.
It was, I don't think it was Michonne. It didn't look like Michonne.
They just showed her quickly.
She's a rebellious initiate. She's one of Wakanda's fiercest warriors, but she's not. I don't think she's not Michonne's character. She was a side character.
Right. But she showed up not happy about things.
Well, she's there. She's looking for Zemo.
Right.
So Baron Zemo and all that stuff, and
Sam warned Winter Soldier earlier that don't forget Wakanda they don't like him. He killed their king. Yeah. So so it's really cool how they're tying all this, even old stuff that seems irrelevant got put in, and it makes it feel like such a connected universe. They do such a superb job on this, and it's so easy to take it for granted. But it really, look, if you take Marvel out of the mix, this has never been done by anybody. DC can barely get 3 movies done without losing their actors. And the X-Men series, Sony could never. Was it Sony? No. Who had X-Men?
Well, so that was
20th Century Fox. Fox.
Yes, it was Fox. Yes.
Fox. They could not keep continuity between 2 movies ever. Like all of these things. So many times these companies try something and then reboot it after a couple of attempts. To be this far in, they're now on year 12 or 13 of their process, and they're still these characters, still same actors and storylines and tying it in, but still growing at the same time.
Well, that's where Marvel and then Disney, by buying Marvel, got lucky is with Favreau coming in for Iron Man, he set the pace. The problem with it, 20th Century Fox has, same problem I believe Warner Brothers has, is they're not looking at trying to build these great versus they feel, oh, that's already out there. People can just go back and read the stuff that's already out there or whatever. They're looking for each movie to come out and be the multi-billion-dollar hit. And they keep forgetting that, Marvel movies weren't making the 700-800 million to start, but they were making good money, and they built up to that. I mean, it was, and then by building the story and people got to know the characters, because a majority of the moviegoers are not reading the previous comics. Some may go back and read them and never read them, thinking they're really cool. But I see this, and Scott, I know you saw this at Comic-Con, says so many people started coming to Comic-Con, especially after the Avengers movie came out in 2010, because they love the movies. And then a lot of say, oh, I have read a comic since a kid. I never read any of this stuff. I don't know anything. Right. This is too cool. And that's why we saw a big surge at the Comic-Cons of people. And a majority had not been comic book fans. They just fans of the movies based on comic books.
Talking about the success of Marvel, one of the things was this guy. Robert Downey Jr. celebrated his 56th birthday this week. Look at this picture. He is Tony Stark. Look at this. Who else posts this in Hollywood? This is hilarious. So this was his picture. He posted online to celebrate his birthday. But Favreau combined with RDJ was the key. RDJ became kind of the godfather of the Marvel Universe. He was the glue that held all of the actors together and kept them going. And he was the kind of the intermediary between the studios and the actors. And he kept the actors' interests in mind every time he talked to the studio. He did such a phenomenal job of keeping it forward. And I think he created a culture that, even though he's not in the movies now, or maybe he could be. I mean, they could still include him. They could do like a Force Ghost. He has that hologram. They could easily keep him going as a hologram.
Well, even though he wasn't in the last Spider-Man, but he's definitely mentioned through it.
Right.
He's been mentioned all through these series here.
But like he had that software he made where it created that hologram of himself young, and it like took his memories, and so they could easily say he created some kind of AI that he downloaded his memories to that projects a holographic image of who he is. You know what I mean? They could easily do that. So he could be back. Who knows? Yeah. I mean, he's made so much money off this. He could just volunteer to be in the movies for free.
Yeah, he went from going to jail, broke, drug addict, to recovering and is now worth few $100 million, I would assume.
Yeah, because the deal he structured was based on how much revenue or whatever the movies made, and they made good money.
Yep. Well, and he believed in them along. That's really what, and we brought in Kevin Feige. So that's where I've been disappointed with some of these other series of movies, because they're not trying to build continuity like you saw with the original X-Men and stuff like that. I mean, I thought they were doing with First Class when First Class came out, and then Days of Future Past, like, okay, this is cool, but then they just got lost in their own story to where they're just like, well, just do this story, that story, we'll just throw them out there, and that's why it was Rise of Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, which should have been made at all because they already did it once. Was
I think the key is it's hard work. And I think a lot of studios don't want to do the hard work.
Yeah.
B, Marvel had a great way they had a plan looking forward, but they also understood who their audience was. And they allowed the plan to shift and move, but not change direction.
Yeah.
And by that, like Thanos, that was originally thrown in as just a Easter egg type scene. It wasn't at the time they did the first Thanos appearance as a post-credit scene, it wasn't, hey, we're going to have this grand arc that goes all the way out to Infinity War. It was meant to be as a tongue-in-cheek Easter egg, just that so fans can be like, ooh, that was cool. But they saw the reaction. It's like, okay, we have something here.
Yeah.
And they kept growing it. But they didn't just say, okay, we're going to stop everything and create a whole new Thanos series now. No, they kept it going. When they hit bumps in the road, like the Hulk and Thor 2, they didn't say, okay, we're scrapping everything and starting over. They said, okay, we're still moving. We're going to make adjustments and fine tune, but this still exists. We're not going to retcon it out. And they kept moving. And that's what was very smart and patient on their part.
Well, and even to the point of when they did the first Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, okay, they're going to introduce the one of the stones in that one because they were kind of starting to go that direction, but it was never meant to be. They never thought it would be the hit that it became. It was just kind of a in between movie to introduce something from the cosmos to bring it into the fold, and it took off more than they expected, and actually changed how they do some of the movies going forward. I mean, Thor Ragnarok, Chris is, he's been quoted saying, "Hey, I want to do what they did there. I want to have that kind of fun in a movie because it was so dark." Dark World was definitely a very dark movie.
And his contract, I think, was up, and so he was able to make some demands. And he said, we need the tone. He was tired of Thor at that point, and he wanted to renovate it to be like the tone of Guardians, and they did that. They listened to him to get him to sign again, and it was a hit. And they found his tone. They finally found it, and it has worked perfectly since.
It was great. I remember you and I saw it not together, but same night on opening night, preview night, and then our good friend Lisa had texted us saying, "Hey, we're gonna be at Akron tomorrow. Y'all want to come see it with us?" Oh, sure, we'll go see it. And then she found out we had already seen it once. I was like, it was good enough to see again 24 hours later.
But that wasn't. She didn't like it still. She was not happy with us.
I'm sorry, Lisa, but I had to go see it opening night because I got the little challenge coin that came with it, and I couldn't wait. I'd already bought the ticket weeks before, so. But it's my favorite Thor movie. It's one of those movies too within the Marvel movies I want to watch when I can pop on anytime. So it's got a lot of stuff I love. You got a little bit of the World War Hulk in there. They didn't have to go tell that whole story either. They kind of just hinted at a little bit of that. It introduced more Asgardian stuff. The Thor was great. His humor was good. I mean, you got a little more Loki thrown in there, and so we got a whole great thing going on. And it was just, and then of course they were able to go into and deal with the whole Ragnarok storyline from the comics as well. But also set up stuff they were able to use later on for the Infinity War and Endgame. So,
right.
I mean, look at Thor. I mean, I love the fact that Thor in Endgame, he had given up on everything because he failed in his eyes. So he got fat, lazy, and playing video games and drinking beer. And he was, and what I loved about, he was like, he's like, hey, I don't want him to get like all of a sudden fit, just because he's now ready to go on. They kept him still kind of, out of shape in that.
Well, and they did such a great job. But that's the other part with Marvel is the exploration they do of their characters, of like with Thor, he was this mighty warrior and he failed. And then the psychology of depression and him going through it, and the loss of motivation and the crumbling of who he is. Same with Winter Soldier and Falcon. They're exploring, like, what does it mean when half the world's population appears in an instant? Like, I love that they're showing like the struggle of, we got it. Like those people's houses are gone. Other people own them now. And what do we do? How do we work them in? So there's a really neat exploration of this reality that makes it more real to us.
Yeah. And then last for the Winter Soldier, going to go right back into that is I'm really liking, I'm forgetting the actress's name because she played, she was in Solo. And she's
Tempest Nest in Solo.
She is fantastic. I really like her.
She does action roles really well.
Yes. Yeah, no, she's great. And then of course we had Sharon Carter, which we mentioned before. Here, I gotta let me share this one. This is a good shot of the actress I'm talking about here. I pulled up the Intel report, and there she is right there.
Yep.
and that she's fantastic. And I liked her in Solo when we saw who she was at Field of Infant's Nest, but I really like her in this. And she's part of this group that, they want to take things the way they were during the blip. They're trying to go back to that, and it's all tied into kind of having more of a one world order type thing too.
Right.
So
very good.
But definitely check out Winter Soldier. We got 3 more episodes.
3 more.
So 3 more to go on that, and then we'll see what happens from there. So, of course, now we've got. See here, we got Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yes.
I waited. I could have watched it on HBO Max beforehand, but I waited till last night when I finally had time to go see it in the theater.
I think you got to see this on the big screen.
At least for the first time. I recommend it.
Yes.
It's like I've got HBO Max. I'm about halfway through it again because I threw it on while I was working on stuff this morning. And so it's nice having that on HBO Max till the end of the month, April 30th. But go pay the money. It's well worth it. The scope, everything else they did was fantastic. I love the fact that they gave Kong kind of like a middle-aged man's beard. He's just got that beard going on. He just looks. When I first see him, I was like, I'd seen the trailers and stuff like that. When you finally see him, he's just there in the opening scene with him. It's like he just looks cool, and he gets up and he's kind of the old man. He's scratching his behind, walking to go take his shower, and
yep. It's a fun movie. It's a giant monster movie battling in the streets. It is what it is. Don't pay attention to the story. The story itself, there's a lot of stupid moments if you care about story, but this is not meant to be about story. It's 2 giant monsters fighting in the streets, and it's fun. It's
when it came down to the story, I actually enjoyed the story. It's not a deep story. I like the things they pulled elements from the last couple movies,
right?
And they've introduced those. And
my problem is the little girl. Okay, they built this facility for Kong. It's under constant observation. Somehow this little 6-year-old girl is constantly going in there, and somehow no one watches this kid. She's like running through exploding cities and everything else. This kid never has where's her parents? And somehow she taught Kong sign language with nobody noticing.
Yeah, Scott, obviously you missed the point where she's the last surviving member of the tribe that was there. So the woman that adopted her. So she has a kinetic connection to Kong.
No, but when did she teach him sign language?
They explained that. She's been talking to him the whole time.
But the facility is all under surveillance constantly.
But they didn't pay attention to that. Well, and even they glossed over a lot of stuff.
I know.
Even the doctor, she said that the doctor said she was doing signs, letters, and stuff like that to Kong. Kong was picking up on this stuff. The little girl and Kong talk, and she goes, "When did Kong talk? Why didn't you tell me Kong?" And he goes, "Kong didn't want you to know."
I know. It just to me it was unrealistic. And then this battle on the aircraft carrier.
And a 200-foot giant monkey is realistic to you, Scott?
No, I know. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm just saying, if I have to be nitpicky, like this aircraft carrier, there's no way an aircraft carrier could have those 2 beasts on its deck fighting.
No, and it was.
There's no way.
And that's the whole point of these movies is they are over the top. They are designed like that.
That's what I mean.
And the thing is this: if these things were designed to be realistic, they would not be fun. They'd spend too much time on the BS science and go from there. The whole
that's
thing.
Why I'm saying you got to go in and just enjoy it.
You got a guy that was a
movie
engineer and a podcaster, and he hooks up with the girl, played by Millie Bobby Brown, from the King of Monsters, and then the kid from Deadpool 2, and they go and break into the facility and end up in one of the ships. End up with where we find out they got Mecha Godzilla, and then end up in Hong Kong. And so they all end up together in Hong Kong. None of that would play out like that.
No, I know. That's why.
That's the whole point of it. But I like this. Anybody really wants to. I like the story for what it is because you got to go in realizing it is a sci-fi story. It's just like anything. If you go back and look at the originals, Godzilla movies, none of them make really any sense.
No, I know. It's just the little girl aggravated me. Is all I'm saying. She annoyed me.
She was fine.
But the larger story they introduced to, you got the Hollow Earth theory. They got them there. So my question is this: are Kong's ancestors? It looked like a temple. I'm guessing his ancestors built this temple. He had this weapon that they forged.
Well, if you notice though, the weapon itself being an axe was forged from one of the back of a Godzilla type creature. So it was part of one of those creatures. So it was like, see the ridges on the back there. It was one of those ridges.
Right.
So obviously there was a great battle between the Kongs and the Godzillas in the Hollow Earth prior to King Kong's parents, who we've kind of seen them in the Skull Island, the bones.
But it definitely indicated a level of intellect for them to recognize, like, oh, we can take this and forge it into an axe to wield the radiation of Godzilla to fight Godzilla.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. When he's flipping around coming into Hollow Earth, and then he sees it looks like a hand. It's actually a hand. And then he finds the door, and he sees the handprints. Right. Put on to open it up, and they obviously there was some intelligence there, and going back how many hundreds of thousands of years or whatever, and because obviously in that whole Hollow Earth it looked like there was definitely a lot more of a creature ecosystem going on, things like that. So it's
definitely a dangerous place to go visit.
Yeah, and I'm wondering too with if they decide to continue on this path, this Hollow Earth, because the movie does end with Kong back down in Hollow Earth. They have a new station down there, and they're monitoring. Are we going to see either more Kongs, or are we going to see other creatures? Because they don't really tell us exactly how big it is. We know it's nowhere near the size of the Earth because it's in the core of the Earth. But how much more in there is there with that hasn't been revealed yet?
Oh, they definitely have the option moving forward with this Hollow Earth thing of almost like the kaijus in Pacific Rim. They through these breaches that the humans have now created, these creatures can escape to the surface. So they're going to need Godzilla to battle these creatures every now and then. Question, are they planning more movies? Because the Godzilla and the Kong movies prior always had a post-credit scene. This one did not.
I think what hurt this one in terms of that was COVID slowing things down. They haven't got one yet. So going forward, I'm not sure what's going on here. I pulled up the wiki page and it says for the future, in March, the producer Alex Garcia stated Legendary hoped to produce more films if they become successful.
Okay.
He commented on the future of the monsters. Wingard, who was the director of this one, he says, I know where we could go potentially future films. However, you know that the MonsterVerse was created to a certain degree to lead towards Godzilla versus Kong. And he added that the MonsterVerse that is at a crossroads, and it really at the point where audiences to kind of step forward and vote for more of these things. If this movie's a success, obviously they will go forward. So really, that's why I think people need to go to the theater to see this if you'd like to see more than watching on HBO Max, because even though they're going to take into account the amount of streams it gets, because that's going to be a factor too right now.
Right.
I think there's a lot of stuff they could do, because we get to we got some great battle. I love the fact that they didn't wait to get Godzilla right going. We're 5 minutes in the movie, and here comes Godzilla attacking the facility in Pensacola, Florida, and we don't know why. And then, of course, but if you listen after watching it last night and then watching the intro again this morning, they're dropping all those foreshadow hints through the whole thing, of what's yet to come. It's a robotics facility. It's this, it's that, and then Millie Bobby Brown's going, she's like, they're provoking Godzilla. There's the only reason he would attack after 3 years is because of the fact that there's something someone's doing. And the whole thing with it, when we get to the main battle at the end, because we got some great battles through the whole thing. This wasn't just like one little fight. They're fighting through the whole thing almost. We basically got Rocky 1, 2, and 3 all in one.
So I think we got Batman versus Superman. Halfway through, I'm like, okay, I already know where this is going. They're going to join forces. And then they even had the shot that was Save Martha.
I knew that. And the thing was, I had a feeling it was going to be. Of course, it's Warner Brothers doing this, and Warner Brothers, they left from Universal to go to Warner Brothers. This is where that people started speculating doing Kong versus Godzilla, because Kong was with is Universal,
right?
And then the production moved over to that so they could bring in Godzilla because of the contracts they have, but. I had joked before the movie because I went to a couple of friends last night, and I said, they were like, we were talking like, well, how do you think it's going to end? I think Kong or Godzilla's going to pin the other one down and go, and one's going to go Martha, and they go, you're mostly Martha too, and they started laughing. But I had a feeling that was coming just because it just seemed like, and then with the Mechagodzilla was Doomsday, so they brought that in. Exactly. But I mean, it was all kind of, you figured it out from the trailer that was going to happen.
Well, here's the reality for people who don't know. Whenever you have two different studios, so whether it's Marvel versus DC, Kong versus Godzilla, any major, or even within studios, when you have two good guys, everyone wants their guy to win.
Right.
So the rule is always you have a misunderstanding that causes a conflict that then the two conflicting each other realize they're in the wrong. Then they join forces to go against the true bad guy. And then they defeat the bad guy. That's the formula. Stan Lee uses it all the time when they have, you see it in Marvel movies.
It's nothing new.
No, it's nothing new because they don't want any, because these are both the good guys, Kong and Godzilla. So you can't have a loser.
And that's the thing. I've seen a lot of talk.
It's basically Three's Company.
Yeah,
every episode is a Three's Company.
Online, though, and a lot of talk online was trying to say that Godzilla was the villain here. But you get from the initial, I'm watching like first 20 minutes into, I'm like, no, you can tell who the real.
Yeah,
it was the guy who runs Apex and what he created. And exactly what's going to happen is you got these two, as I said, titans. And of course, that was one thing that I kind of was annoyed by was the fact that they kept saying, well, if Kong leaves this structure here, Skull Island, Godzilla will sense him and pick him up or go after him because it can only be one. I'm like, nah, they hadn't really established that, but then they established it in the opening credits. I was like, okay, that's where they're establishing this at. So, I mean, they glossed over some things. But, Godzilla was never the villain here. The whole time he's attacking the group that was actually creating something from an energy that was very similar to his that he realized was a power. And then we come to find out it's Ghidorah's head. They got the skull attached to everything. They're basically funneling it in for this to control Mechagodzilla, and then because they use the power source from Hollow Earth, it causes the DNA to take over Mechagodzilla. So Mechagodzilla became the reincarnation of Ghidorah. That's
which you could tell, and the memories of Ghidorah also, because Ghidorah was trying to do the finishing move on Godzilla that Godzilla did on it.
Yeah.
Like that was like its revenge. It wanted, but it was fun. You're watching on your TV. I saw it on the big screen.
I saw it on the big screen last night. So
So my question is, how does it compare watching on your TV compared to the big screen?
It's better at the theater, and that's why I've been stressing this whole talk here is you got to go see it in the theater. The size and scope of it lends to it. I didn't see it in 3D, but I know Kevin said he took his family to see it in 3D.
Nice.
And I could see this movie being fantastic in 3D. I just the theater I go to didn't offer a 3D option. They offered it in what they call IMAX. I saw it in the regular 2D. IMAX is just a wider screen at Imagine Theaters. And of course, Tuesday being free popcorn night, I had to get free popcorn. And the thing is, this is a movie I'm so glad they didn't say we're just releasing it on streaming. I would have watched it.
To be big.
I would have watched either way, but then I would have been so disappointed because now that I've seen it in the theater, and I popped it on today mainly because we were talking about it, and I wanted to kind of start watching it again to see it. I kind of still want to see it in the theater again, just because of the scale of everything else. Right. And I said, the story moves. You're not a deep story, but the story itself moves. There's never any lag time. It's just boom, point to point to point to point to point. And you got a lot of great action, some good fight scenes. And, I personally if you go in and you hate this movie, it's because you just don't like this type of movie.
Yeah, that's what it's a fun movie. It's a fun summer action movie.
That's all this is these are as a true escapism movie. You're not supposed to take anything seriously. Definitely. And just believe it as it is. But I love the design on the film. I love the way Kong looked. I like the way Godzilla looks in these movies. The whole thing, like the picture there with them on top of the aircraft carrier, the whole sea battle stuff was fun. I liked it. And it was, there's him leaping from ship to ship. Kong did.
Yeah, those ships would have completely sunk.
But
and Kong versus Godzilla isn't even a match if it's on the water. Godzilla is gonna crush Kong. They did show that.
Yeah.
Because there's no way a gorilla in the ocean would do well.
For the most part, Kong took a beating in this movie.
Oh, he
and,
did. He did.
And but he kind of held his own on the ground, and the final battle between him and Godzilla was really good. And then but he was losing. He pretty much lost because Godzilla really is all power. He is the king of monsters, but in a great way, they resurrected Kong right away. Well, saved him from dying, so he could help battle. And I did like the end part when they just kind of looked at each other, and then basically they, Kong drops the axe. Godzilla gives him the nod,
So,
and turns around and walks away. And then I like the look at me in the back of them. So
I'm trying to remember from the past movies. Mothra's not dead, right?
No, I don't believe so.
So
That's the thing
Mothra's
about this movie. So this movie, the only one I know is King Ghidorah is dead.
Right.
Rodan bowed. So
that's right. So they're still around somewhere.
Yeah, so they're still around. My theory, and this is unsubstantiated, I've not read anything on this stuff like that, is Kong went to Hollow Earth. When Godzilla took off to the sea, I think he's going to go and end up at Skull Island, and Skull Island's going to become Monster Island.
Ah, okay.
And of course, and then still there should be some type of, I believe, a portal to Hollow Earth, because that's where, of course, the Skull Crushers were coming up from.
Correct.
So
okay, very good.
That's my theory on going forward. Is if they decide to do Godzilla Monster Island, it could be Skull Island and tie into all that, and then.
And the nice thing about the way they ended the movie is with Kong now in Hollow Earth. Hollow Earth will be the new Skull Island for future Kong movies. They don't have to worry about civilization or anything. It's Hollow Earth now. And then, like you said, Godzilla can take over Skull Island to become Monster Island. So I think that's a good theory.
That's my theory if they continue in that path, and I can see that, and then they can still bring Kong back up to the surface. But realistically, Kong himself as a story is what they've done with the original King Kong movies, 33, 76, even the Peter Jackson remake in 05, I think it was.
I really like the Peter Jackson one.
I liked it a lot too, and he wanted to do another one.
Yeah,
but Kong,
I really wish they stuck with that.
Yeah, when you get the initial stuff like that, you meet Kong and they bring him and all that stuff. Those initial stories. What they did with the Skull Island movie, I really enjoyed that too. He's on the island. They dealt with that stuff. There's stuff going there, and now that he's gone against Godzilla, realistically for Kong, there isn't much more to do per se. But I'm sure there's some stories that someone create and go from there, tying him into fighting more monsters or joining forces with Godzilla in another way. Or
for me personally, I feel Kong movies tend to do a better job of incorporating a human storyline into it, versus like for me, the Godzilla stories with 11 from Stranger Things.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, I always feel like the human element ruins the story. It's like, I don't care about the human side. Just blow things up. Whereas Kong, I enjoy the interaction more with the humans.
Well, Godzilla and then even Godzilla King of Monsters, they had a lot of human elements set up. And then we finally started getting the monster stuff. And that's where I think this movie did better than those.
I agree.
It really concentrated more on the creatures, and the human aspect of it was what it should be. It was supplemental to help move us from point to point to point especially when they weren't together, to eventually getting together. And that's all it was just tie-ins. And we didn't spend 45 minutes at the beginning of the movie on all this human crap that we didn't care about, just to have them go and eventually kill the characters off at the end like they did in Godzilla.
Yeah. I think in the next movie, Bobby Brown will have a little saddle at the top of Godzilla, and she'll be riding like Khaleesi.
Well, there we go. I mean, Godzilla versus Kong 2. She'll be on Godzilla, and they'll get the girl from Skull Island on Kong, and they'll battle it out. It'll be the end result.
I like it. But anyways, overall, being a big giant monster movie, I give it an A. I really enjoyed it. The visuals were spectacular. The colors were great. The noise, the explosions, all that was great. And as far as these Godzilla movies go, I think this was the best human story interaction of it. I still like the Kong human element better for the Kong movie, Skull Island, and or what was the last one? Skull Island was Peter Jackson, right?
No, Skull Island was the last one. Okay. That was the one with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, that's right. I like the Peter Jackson one better than that one, but I still like that story.
The thing with the Peter Jackson one, that was based on the original movie, so there are technically separate separate King Kong universes.
Right.
It's not the same Kong per se, but it's all based on the same creation in that. So I think that if he would have continued on with his, we would have seen a different version of Skull Island down the road. But I enjoyed the Samuel Jackson one, but that one strictly was to set up for the MonsterVerse to go into the Godzilla versus King Kong, which is what they were kind of going towards. So.
Awesome.
So cool. Well, hey, we'll be on tonight at 7 as we launch
tonight.
the Kickstarter for Crimson Shadows. So join us tonight. Crack a beer. Enjoy an hour of us talking about Crimson Shadows, and we'll get everything going. And until then, I guess I'll just take us out.
Take care.